Hello, hello, hello. I am Andra, Annette, and welcome to the journey home. I wanted to come in and just talk to you for a few minutes. This podcast is only done once a month because I have so many other podcasts going right now. But I love this podcast. I love the journey, and this is really about my journey. So I am a nurse. I am a holistic practitioner, a leaky gut, thyroid, and weight loss expert, an international best-selling author, and now I'm writing songs. So I'm having a lot of fun out here, and I think it's really great that you can change direction at any point in your life. You can do anything that truly makes you happy, and that's my message today. So I'm writing children's books that I just think are so much fun, and it's creating something great for our future generation where every child feels safe. I'm doing that in songs as well. I wrote, my business is Pounds to Go, and I wrote my anthem, which really talks about who I am as a soul aligned person. And I really enjoyed writing that, right? But I love teaching health. So let's talk a little bit about health, okay? Because we always get into everything else, but I want to talk to you about something that's really important in health. So when we talk about the mind body connection, you really need that mind part in order for that body to work. And by that, I mean, if you don't believe that you can achieve your health goals or any of those things, then it's really not going to happen. There are people that have been told that they had 3 months to live, and they went on to really change their thought system. And they said, no, it's not going to happen because I have so much life to live. And they negated what people told them, and they went on to live very purposeful lives, right? So our mind does have a major, major impact on how we show up in the world, what we believe about ourselves. And a lot of people do live in those past stories. So I talk about this a lot on my pages because I was that person that was held back and feeling emotionally broke, spiritually unfit. I was angry at a lot of people. I hadn't learned to forgive, and I was holding on to a lot of that. And that was showing up in my reflection in my body. And I am in health, and I do know how to get healthy, but I wasn't taking care of the inner me, and it was showing up on the outside, right? So those connections, until I released that and let go of that, because those people moved on with their life, right? But I had to let that go because all that anger and all that hurt and all those things were stuffed down inside of me, that there was nowhere to go. They had no way to release. So I had to take a look on that inner peace if I was really going to keep what I achieved, right? So on my weight loss journey, I lost 160 pounds. I lost 100 pounds, over 100 pounds in under a year, never plateaued on my journey. And that's because I understand the way the body works. So I talk about this. I know I've mentioned this here, that your body has a very natural rhythm. And finding your rhythm is really about listening to your body and your body's needs, right? So just like your heart goes lub dub, lub dub, lub dub, your body has that natural rhythm too. And when you step outside of that rhythm, it auto corrects, because that's the job of the body, to help you, to protect you. So it's very simple to realign with that, but you do have to get into that head and tell yourself what you're trying to achieve, right? So a lot of people, when they diet, they restrict calories, and that slows your thyroid down, right? It tells your thyroid that you don't need that T3, and it just slows it down. It stops the production of those hormones, right? And you can tell people that till you're blue in the face, but they're going to do what they want to do, right? So when we talk about your thyroid, we are talking about your metabolism. We are talking about every cell in your body, because it drives every cell in your body. And when I talk about the gut thyroid connection, you really can't have a healthy thyroid if your gut is not in a good place. If it's inflamed, your body is not, your gut is not going to be able to convert the hormones that you need because 20% of those thyroid hormones are converted in the gut, right? So a lot of people restrict fats, fats are no good. Well, you do need healthy fats. You do. Those omega-3s, those fatty fish for your thyroid, those nuts and all that stuff. You really do. Those that grass-fed butter, all that good stuff because the body uses that fat. The thyroid is surrounded by fatty tissue and it uses those fats and that cholesterol to really help with the hormone production that you need. So if you're not having them and you're slacking on some of your macronutrients and your micronutrients, it is going to impact your thyroid, your digestive process. And then your body is just a hot mess because those are the two major driving forces in your body. So everybody talks about how the gut works with your heart, right? It works with the brain and it connects throughout your entire body. Every system in your body runs on axes to different systems, right? So it's all connected. So if any one of those pieces are not in alignment, the others start to fall. It's a natural process because they're overcompensating to repair this, to help this, right? Think of your body like Pac-Man. Does everybody remember Pac-Man? And there are those little men that are running, 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 running. Well, that's a lot like what happens in the body if you have an infection. All those white blood cells go running to eat at that infection. So it's the same too if your heart is compensated, right? Other systems have to work harder. Your kidneys have to work harder to keep that pressure up. It's just like an unending cycle. So when we talk about the body, we have to talk about it as a whole. And there's so many people out there really separating the body and talking and treating different systems, right? And talking about inflammation. And they're all talking about gut. They just maybe not know that that's what they're talking about because that inflammation process, when you're seeing it in the body, it's because there's a problem in the gut, right? Um so really you do have to focus on that digestive system. So when I came online, a lot of people told me I couldn't help everybody, and I said, oh, I beg to differ. And that's why I am so adamant about the digestive process because I know it connects to every system. And I've been working in the body for 40 years, right? And I know that health is just not a one size fits all. It's no diet is for everybody, and not every solution that they're selling out there is going to work for everybody. So finding what works for you. Let's get into that. You do have to take into consideration when you're trying to get healthy your cultural variances, things that you're eating, right? Because they are very important, right? So if I told you to eat A and you've never tried A before, you're not gonna stay on that. So it does have to align with who you are as a person. You have to find healthier aspects of what you like, right? So if you're eating a lot of red meat, maybe cut back on some of that red meat, maybe have it once every 2 weeks instead of 3 times a week, right? So it's about finding your own body's rhythm, what you can do, right? Focus on your strengths, not on your weaknesses, right? So um, if you are not good at preparing meals, right? Maybe do it in bulk, like prepare a bunch of meals at once. If you're not someone who can take healthy meals with you, if you're out most of the day, do like bulk, right? Where you're preparing a bunch of meals and you're storing them in the freezer, you take it out the night before. Little things like that help and they go a long way. So I used to be a really big snacker, truth be told, right? Not such healthy stuff. But what I started doing was removing all those things from my house so they weren't in my sight, right? And always on my mind. So it kind of took the willpower out of it, right? Because we are creatures of habits. We will do what we've always done, right? So breaking those habits are only going to be harder if you're having something in your face that you know you're really going to want, right? So it just made sense for me to surround myself with healthier choices, right? Instead of bags of M&Ms, oranges and apples and grapes and all those things became my new normal, right? Um, I had digestive issues, serious digestive issues. I did have leaky gut. Um, I had fiber one bars like crazy in my house because they tasted sweet, and I needed that sweet because I was trying to wean myself off all of that sugar, and I did. I quit sugar. I quit soy. I got rid of the gluten in my house, the dairy in my house, all those things that I was very fond of, but weren't really good with me. I found out that I was intolerant to all of them. I did an elimination diet, and most people eliminate one thing at a time to find out what is really getting in their way, what was causing all those digestive issues. And I just eliminated everything and tried to add them back in one at a time, and I couldn't add any of them back in. So I have remained gluten and soy free. I'm not sugar free anymore. I do have sugar, but healthy forms of sugar, if you know, like fruits, those are all natural sugars and things like that. So um I still have my M&Ms. But I eat healthy 80% of the time. So there's a lot of people out there telling you you have to restrict, restrict, restrict. So a healthy diet is one that doesn't cause restriction all the time, because that those limitations are going to be what stops it from being a lifestyle, right? Because when we start doing something that is harder to keep momentum, it's easier to slack off. It's easier to back off, right? If you can only eat one meal a day, you have these people that do this intermittent fasting, and some people eat in a 3 hour window, which is absurd because you couldn't possibly eat the amounts of nutrients you need to support a healthy body in those 3 hours. You just can't do it, right? So, I don't know why they do it. They think it helps with weight loss, but there's no evidence to that effect that you could lose any more weight with the intermittent fasting than you can on a regular lifestyle diet. So anything you do, like I haven't dieted per se in over 15 years, which means I don't restrict myself, but my lifestyle has become my day-to-day diet, if that makes sense, right? So it's about finding things that you really enjoy eating, trying new things. There was a time in my life when I would never eat beets. I have found ways to incorporate them in because they are great to detoxify your blood and clean your system. So I do add them in. I found different ways to cook them. I've always liked the stems with some garlic and oil, but I never liked the actual beets. But just little things like that. And finding what works for you is really simpler if you're not listening to all the noise, right? So what happens is when we're we're in an area of our life that we feel like we're having difficulty with, we feel sensitive about it, a little insecure about that, or apprehensive. So we do always look for someone else to help, right? And it's okay to look for help, but you should be very leery about the type of advice that you're taking from other people. You should absolutely investigate if they have credentials, if there's someone that's credible, because there's so many people online today just selling anything, and you're dropped into a container somewhere, and a lot of people do need that one-to-one interaction, not here's your meal map, have a nice day, right? So just be leery out there. and just really listen to your body, because health really is about listening to your body and saying, what do I need right now? What am I feeling in my body? What do I need to release? Am I feeling joy? Am I excited? What do I need to do to calm myself down? Because you do have to be able to start honing in on your nervous system and really finding ways to relax yourself. So the biggest hindrance in all health, any health complication that's going on in anybody's body, is stress. Stress is the biggest cause of any disease, right? Um, Socialization, getting out, enjoying the day, interacting with friends is actually really good for your health. So find some time to unwind, to relax, and just to do those things for yourself. Find time for you, because health is all about self-care. It's about doing the things that maybe we don't always want to do, getting up and exercising, going out for a walk. But the more you start to do them, the easier they get. And you might even find enjoyment in them, because we are in a really bad state of health. We are in a health crisis in the world today. We really are. There is more obesity, more heart disease, more diabetes than ever before, more thyroid issues, especially since post-COVID, um, because the effects on the digestive system was definitely going to impact the thyroid. I just told you 20% of the hormones are made in the gut. They're converted in the gut. So um, if the immunity, which is 70% of the immunity, is made in the gut, if that's impacted, and everybody's was during COVID, it is going to affect all your other systems. And some people use COVID as a jumping off point for health. And then after they felt safe and secure again, kind of fell back into what they were doing. But they do need to get back on that wagon, so to speak. So um, I don't know where you are in your health journey, but you could always reach out to me anywhere, online, everywhere under my name, Andra Annette, here on YouTube. You could ask me questions. I'm always answering questions. I'm not out here just trying to sell products or get people in a program. I really do care about your health. I don't think that health should come at such a cost. I think that people really should be entitled to a better state of health. I have done a lot of pro bono out here. People reach out to me all the time, and I just give them those answers without expecting anything, because I can. If I needed a mechanic, I would go to the mechanic and ask for his help, certainly, right? And if it was something simple, like I needed air in my tires, he might even do it for me, right? If it was going to be a $10,000 job, he might say, okay, you're going to have to give me something for this, right? Um, but I try to be respectful of people and their choices. And um, I'm not out here trying to sell somebody a program. I'm really not. I'm really concerned with the state of health. And this is what I've done for the last 4 years. It's the highlight of my life. I have loved serving the people as long as I have. The thought of retiring actually saddens me, because this is so much a part of who I am, right? So, um, I specifically help with digestion, thyroid, and weight loss, but there's really nothing going on in your body that I couldn't help with. If there is, um, if you're having trouble calming your nervous system, I do a lot of courses on Udemy. Um, lose weight quickly. I don't even remember the name of it. I have so many up there, but they're just simple steps where I teach people how to eat the right way to eat, because eating is about combining foods for the biggest bang for your buck, right? And because you can't eat everything you need to eat, you just can't. It's just you be eating all day. I personally eat all day. Because of my thyroid issues, I've had thyroid issues my entire life. I started with Graves' disease where I had extremely high metabolism and it reverted to Hashimoto's, a different autoimmune disease, which is totally under control and I am symptom free. But the thing is, you do have to eat to support those systems. So my food is based around my thyroid, my previous digestive issues, so that I don't wind up back in the same place, right? Because that would just be stupid, right? After spending that time and working so hard to get healthy, to go back to what I was doing, right? Because I'm sick. Um, so yeah, so I do eat to support my thyroid. Absolutely, 100% and my digestive, right? So but when you're eating for your digestion, you are eating for your thyroid and you are eating for every other system in your body, right? Because if your digestion is healthy, your thyroid's healthy, your heart is healthy, your pituitary is healthy, your brain is healthy, everything is healthy, right? It all works together. One system supports the other. And this system is the most important because if you are not digesting and processing the nutrients you're taking in, what's the point, right? So, all right. So I think I've given you enough information today. I don't want to bore you too much, but in the books that I did, Rainbow of Wellness, I'm doing them on Facebook and other places where I do one question, one answer every day. So if you don't follow me on Facebook, you might want to think about that. And I'm showing people how to combine their food, right? How each of the colors of the rainbow supports different body systems in what way. So when people talk about color your plate, meet the colors of the rainbow, different foods support different systems, right? They all support, all your vegetables and fruits support your digestion, right? They are the prebiotics that feed the gut microbiome, which is your probiotics, right? And the combination makes postbiotics. So you do need to eat all of those things, okay? So if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'll be in soon and letting you know. I do usually take summers off, and we are heading to that time. So I will have more time to come in. We're going to start talking a little bit more about health, a little bit more about that mind piece, because people totally underestimate the power of mindset, right? So on my journey too, I did seek help for weight loss. I did the Weight Watchers, I did the Jenny Craigs, I did all those things, and none of them worked for me, honestly. Right? I think Jenny Craig, I think I lost 30 pounds. And that was before I started my serious weight loss and just said, okay, I'm going to do this myself. And I didn't believe in myself because I had let myself get to a place. And my mother said to me, what are you doing? She said, why are you asking these people for help? She said, if anybody knows this stuff, it's you. This is what you do every day. She said, trust yourself. If there's something wrong, you'll figure it out. And at that time in my life, I wasn't diagnosed with the autoimmunes yet or any of that stuff, right? Doctors were giving me a hard time. They maybe you like to eat too much, maybe you're happy, they were telling me my thyroid was normal until I asked for specific tests that I knew I needed. And that's when I found out about the autoimmunes. And I mean, my thyroid was at coma levels and I was walking around with my face through the floor. So if you have questions about tests, those type of tests, I'll be happy to give those to you too. Just reach out to me. I love helping people. This is what I'm about. So I'm glad you were here with me for this time. Thank you for tuning in to this session of A Journey Home, and we have a great day. See you, health.